I think I've made the wackiest Skyrim build thus far.
You picked.
And I'm coming out of retirement for one last video to show you what it is and how to get it. For you see, this build does everything. It gives you survivability, unlimited sprinting, and most important of all, sneaking while sprinting. Now I can hear you think, stealth builds don't allow for sprinting in Skyrim.
What? This one does, dummy! Oh!
And it works on consoles without the use of mods. What's up y'all, I'm at my grandma's house. Works on the Xbox Switch station as well. Let's get into it. Let's start the story at the beginning. I was spending my days like I usually do, wanting to be more like Terry Crews, not being anything like Terry Crews, and realizing I could never be like Terry Crews. That's because he's, really muscular. But it gave me an idea. I could just play my next Skyrim playthrough as him, and that's where this journey begins. I started off making a character that looks exactly like our boy Terry. To the untrained eye, the difference is imperceptible. It was time to set off on our adventure. I escaped the dragon attack and then I asked Greylov if he wanted to be my sparring partner. That way I could get some training in before entering the mainland. He was totally on board.
I'm on your side. What are you doing? Watch it.
After a rigorous training regime, I set out for the Warrior Stone. This gives us an increase of 200% in the skills we're going to be focusing on. With our freshly acquired buff, we set out for the city of Whiterun. While there, we could choose to help investigate the dragon threat or help out a woman who keeps getting bugged by a man. We chose the latter, because women are precious beings that deserve to be protected at all costs. She also gives us a boatload of money for this quest.
Terry doesn't like to talk about money, but cha-ching! Now I can pay for showtime.
As an added bonus, we can now also appropriate our entire livelihood for ourselves to make vegetable soup. This allows us to indefinitely spam heavy attacks because Skyrim is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits. With our lifetime supply of vegetable soup and shield in hand, we set off for Bleak Falls Barrow. Everything went fine until we encountered spiders.
It's on my head!
As with all things, we overcame our obstacles. We found the Golden Claw and uncovered the secret of the barrow. The owner of the Golden Claw, a shopkeeper whose name escapes me, but he had a hot sister, was eternally grateful to us. As an added bonus, we can now also appropriate his entire livelihood for ourselves to make vegetable soup. With our incrementally increasing vegetable soup, we returned home, where we were warned that the dragon was about to attack the city. It was at this point that Terry decided that his part in this conflict was over. He had missed too many gym sessions already. To this end, he joined the Companions, which is a group of traditional warriors who will stop at nothing to bring honor and glory to their group. Naturally, the first task they give me is beating an unarmed woman into the ground. This impressed them for some inexplicable reason, and Terry started having reservations about his newly found comrades. But then, he noticed that they could train him in the skills he needed for this build, and his worries melted away harder than the health bar of his foes. Now, as you probably know, the leader of the Companions dies during this questline. This proved to be a huge impediment to Terry.
This is taking too long! I'm gonna miss the farmer's market!
But it's also at their lowest moments that opportunities might present themselves. The position of CEO for the Companions was up for grabs, and because I worked there for a total of 2 days, I was the right person for the job. Now this is where it gets interesting. Being the leader of the squad allows you to employ NPCs as followers. This way, you can trade items between the two of you. Some of these NPCs are also trainers, so you can just take back your college tuition from them. One of these trainers is Nyada Stonearm, an undisputed fan favorite. She said that she could train our block skill to 75 and that she would never be bested in single combat. She was definitely right about one of those statements. Now, let's go over our perks. The main skill for this build is a block skill. No one has ever used this skill in the history of Skyrim, so to clarify, the block skill governs how many damage can be blocked and how hurtful the shield bash attack is. We are mainly interested in the Power Bash, Deadly Bash, Block Runner and Shield Charge perks. The Power Bash allows us to do a heavy shield bash, while the Deadly Bash increases the damage done. Now comes the best part of this build. The Block Runner perks allows us to move faster with our shield raised. An oversight is that the same speed applies to sneaking, meaning that you can raise your shield while sneaking to get the default run speed. It probably doesn't get any more stupid than this. If you are the first person ever to manage to reach a block level of 100, you can choose the shield charge perk. You are now a full-fledged NFL player.
Building kick! Explosion!
But it gets better. Because of an oversight, you can activate your sprinting from sneaking. Not only does this allow you to sneak at full speed, it also gives you unlimited sprint, even when your stamina bar is drained. To acquire level 100 blocking, I would advise to train with Nyada to 75. After 75, seek out Chief Larak. He lives in the Welsh township of Morsk-Razgur. Alternatively, you can just scrap it out with giants, because they do a ton of damage as well. Our second focus point is the heavy armor skill. We prioritize this as well because the shield bash damage is dependent on the base armor rating. The perks we are interested in are Juggernaut, Well Fitted, Conditioning and Matching Set. We can train our heavy armor from Farkas, who is also a follower/trainer from the companions. Since I'm his employer, he will do all the work while I reap all the benefits. Alternatively, getting ass blasted by giants also does it for me. Now, unlike my father, we are ready to bring it all home. You should also invest in the smithing skill tree to build and upgrade armor. Unfortunately, there is no follower/trainer for the smithing skill. So I did it a little differently. I gathered all the natural resources I could find. I then started an apprenticeship under the tutelage of Imperial Master Consolius Commandius and retrained for months on end, which is also the reason I haven't uploaded since August. The last piece of the puzzle was our stealth. To increase our stealth, we also progressed the main quest to unlock the best sneak training method. But first we had a dragon to kill. Unfortunately, the guards saw me as a threat because of war crimes I committed that were unrelated to this video. Luckily, I could just outrun the law and avoid apprehension because of this build. Afterwards, I made my way up the 7,000 steps and started stabbing religious zealots with reckless abandon. I also stabbed one of the greybeards over and over again. I did this until I acquired the muffled movement perk. This helped me stay undetected while I barged over enemies like a military-grade freight train. It was awesome. With our build fully decked out, I asked for a professional opinion on the quality of the build.
You fought well. Find you.
And that's how I played Skyrim as international treasure Terry Crews. Before I leave you, don't forget to like and subscribe because we are so close to 1 million subs, I can almost taste it. If for whatever reason you want more stupid videos, feel free to click any one of these. Okay, see ya.
They were handed down from me from my dad, which was handed down to him from his father.
Okay, first off, I can tell you right off, this is a reproduction.